What's going on? My name is Matsumoto D. I'm actually a real estate broker, mortgage banker, licensed in 22 states in the Americas. I've recently left the nation. I got my plane ticket, I remember, around the 24th, actually, of February, right before this, Agent Orange got us into a fight that we all know we're not winning. The main issues I want to bring up is the fact that if you're paying the experience I received while working as a banker in working in real estate is the reason I got my family out of Dodge essentially, and we left the nation. I am now in Japan. I chill in Tokyo with the family. In Japan, yes, they are making it harder for foreigners, but for people who are actually making a decent amount here, it's not a problem. And my whole family is Japanese. Is I've always been down with this since I was younger, as I lived with a Japanese family and high school, middle school, and I've just known since reading about Executive Order 9066, knowing their history alignment with the civil rights movement in my community. It's a very safe place to be when it comes to community, respect, and family. That is the complete opposite of what I have seen in my life in America. Is I'm from South Memphis originally. I was a ward of the court, and America was always there to kick you when you're down, not to help you, and then hope you became a statistic. Is they have already tried to define your pathway. I'm not the kind of individual that ever believed in the government's pathways and things. Is they've consistently tried to trip people up and have them go down a system. What the reason I'm actually just bringing this up is a lot of you people in America, I'm telling you, the citizens aren't the problem. It's the government, and it always has been. They're you can go back, you can just go back through history, and for anyone who is educated, as I read a well amount, I don't think that considers me educated, but my actions do. And anyone who knows like my pathway, I've went in a 1 in 660 million type pathway where I wouldn't recommend it for most people because it's extremely hard. However, I am an extremely resilient and dynamic individual when it comes to just engaging, playing the game. One thing I would say is if you're paying attention to the stock market, the bond market, we all know it's a done game. When I left, a lot of people were trying to sell arms, and they were promising because once this guy gets in, don't worry, Trump will get in, he'll lower rates. I told him he doesn't have control over the rates. He has more control to run the game wild by doing something and starting to let the missiles fly. I do remember this was my quote. I was telling people in January, and things February came around, this Black History Month. I was like, I'm gonna leave the corporate plantation. I told my talked to the spouse. I said, it's time for us to get out of here. This nation, I can tell this is the feeling. It's palpable now. And I told her it's like Japanese people before the 1940s when that executive order hit. If the ones who knew, and they could have gone somewhere else, went to Brazil or other regions and waited out the storm. As I'm a conscientious objector of going to a war over something that has absolutely nothing to do with me, that I haven't benefited from, and many Americans have less than ever. So I will tell you guys, if you're not paying attention to what's going on in Ukraine right now, the government will more than likely in the next few years be actively trying to draft young men and women who don't even have assets in the Americas. You don't own things, yet they want you to go and put your life on the line for the people who have disenfranchised you and who are on the Epstein list. So this is the game that they're playing, and they're doing it broadly. Now that we have technology like this, we can share information. You all should know and make rational decisions. If you're not going to make rational decisions here, once the bond market explodes and it trickles into the AI market, showing that it's a facade because energy is the number one thing that it's based upon, and the world has the capacity to cut us off of the energy, LNGs and all of this stuff is what's going on here. This man thought that he would be able to take control of the strait and take control of the assets, but he completely lost. For me, I've been happier than ever, to be honest, because I got my kids. We're out of the nation. They can't hold them against me. America can't use its terroristic actions to do so. And honestly, I'm deciding later down the line if I do rescind my American citizenship after 5 or 10 years of being here. I hope it doesn't get to that, because I do hope the nation recovers and we have true leadership and people who care when it comes to the community and our social contract. But the weather, and the politics are about to come into a major issue in the next I tell you, the next 6 months. You're going to start seeing it. They know that Super El Nino and La Nina are kicking around, and the government could care less. They're one of the books, I keep telling you, one of the books I read that freaked me out before leaving was this: Slow Burn: The Hidden Cost of a Warming World by R. Ji-sung Park. This guy, brilliant, but he talks about just the concepts of how the economy is affected by the climate. It's not the other way around. Humans, we don't set the tone. We simply dance with Mother Nature. And we're not dancing very well at this point. I came to Japan because I believe that they are one of the nations that is the best prepared for what is to come. They are on the ring of fire, surrounded, and their whole culture, the Shinto mindset, was built upon the respect of the planet, not making a man-made god and trying to commodify it into a corporation and then enslave others. This is a different history, but Japan is an isolationist, xenophobic nation. It's not bad when you think that these are the natives of their place. They have every right to say, we don't want random people here who aren't speaking our language. So I highly agree with those concepts, and that's why I have my kids who are, that black ninja gene out here mixed and kicking it here, because I want them to play the safe game. In America was a nation that was built on immigration and people coming there, as it was a colonialist perception. But you guys, I would say, never try to judge the world with a Eurocentric mindset, and fix the problems at home before you start looking for problems elsewhere to talk about, as America is facing all-time lows economically. People have less money saved up than they've ever had before. They have less assets. We are losing more homes due to the weather than we are building them. And the government is running you straight into a pathway that will more than likely lead to the excommunication of America from the global markets. So I hope you all are paying attention. I start posting more videos on different media now that I'm here, and I feel safe that I don't have to worry about some enraged, racist, or angry person trying to come and attack my children, as those were usually the threats I would get when I streamed back in the days. But hey, nowadays you gotta have money. You gotta get a passport and come over here to Japan. And 本当にお前たちが全然できないよね。でもそしたらお金がいないと思うね。It's getting kind of crazy out there. So good luck, people. Love ya. Hope you're loving yourself, and I hope you're paying attention, because if not, you will pay in pain.